Have you? We'll see if that makes any difference. Good evening, everybody. Apparently, I'm now live. We have 18 people who have already logged on, so good evening to you all. It's 8 o'clock. It's Wednesday night, and it's time again for another fantastic quiz brought to you by yours and truly, Nick. So anyway, good evening all. Let's have a bit of chat started in the column. I better say hello to everybody. My daughter's raring to go with all the quiz questions and answers as we go through the quiz tonight. We will, as usual, have 6 rounds of trivia to keep you all going. You will now notice my daughter Lydia has a little spanner next to her name, which basically means she is a moderator. So if you start putting any rude words down, she can take them out. Not quite sure what that means, actually. I was trying to get my head around why we still had various words and things missing, if you know what I mean, during the top chat columns, but I can't really find enough. There's various filters which they use. Anyway, that's enough of that. Right, Andrew Lewis has just said good evening from Jane and Andrew. So good evening to you. I hope it hasn't been too dismal today. The weather's been absolutely atrocious. Well, it was at lunchtime anyway. It's got slightly better this afternoon, I suppose. Jed and Tracy have just joined us. Good evening, Jed and Tracy. Hope all is well with you. And again, I don't know what the weather was like in your part and neck of the woods, but it wasn't very good here, I have to say, but never mind. Martin Davis and Wheat Links are now live and quarate. Well, good evening, Martin. Now then, have you got your friends with you from last week, or are you with Andrew and Jane this evening? You'll have to let me know there. PRS are also just joining us. So good evening to Matthew and Claire. Good evening, Matthew and Claire. I hope... I don't know how you, whether you get Robin round at your house at the same time or whether you Zoom each other or just pass the messages. You'll have to let me know whether you actually sit together or not as a team. I don't know. What's this PRS? A woman on a dating site sent me a message saying, wow, you're gorgeous. How come you're still single? It's spelled I replied. What? I need to look at that a bit more in detail, but never mind. Clive and Janet from the Teasers of Church joined us, and they're saying good evening from a chilly Teesside. Well, it has been very chilly all of a sudden. We had that spell last weekend, didn't we? We thought it was all going too swimmingly on, when was it? It was Saturday and Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when we had some brilliant weather, and suddenly the temperature went up. Well, it's come back down with a bash and a crash. Today, I took my grandchildren out. We decided to take a picnic with us and go to a local country park. And as we approached the country park, the heavens opened. This was near Coventry, and it absolutely belted down. So we nearly turned around and came home. However, we stayed the course, and within a few minutes of the rain really hammering down, it gave us the opportunity then to walk around the park without any problem at all. So yes, things improved for a little while. Never mind. Anyway, we enjoyed a nice picnic today, even though it was a bit cold. The kids got extremely muddy, but then that's par for the course. They like stamping in every puddle they can, as I'm sure all grandchildren do, as you know. So here we go. Clive and Janet just joined us, so they're saying hi from chilly Teesside. Jackie Skips just joined us. Good evening, Nick and Lydia. Good evening all, she says. So good evening, Jackie. Hope all is well. Gerard's just saying first of our AstraZeneca vaccine jabs today. Wow. Well, that's good news. We're going on Friday for ours, apparently. We're not sure what we're getting, but never mind. We're going for our jab at Stoneleigh, which is just outside Coventry and Warwick somewhere. Both Ange and I are going at the same time, so we should be vaccinated come Sunday night. So hopefully I won't have a sore arm when it comes to Sunday night's quiz. Or probably be putting it on a bit or something. We'll see. Sarah's just joined us. She said, Team Worcester are gathering themselves ready for battle tonight. So great to see you all. So Sarah, Russ, Joe and James, get yourself all ready with some beer in hand and some nibbles ready to go. PRS says, we communicate via Messenger for the quiz. That's a little bit like my wife. You use WhatsApp, don't you, Ange? And yeah, I think Ange uses WhatsApp. He has a WhatsApp group and they all just... text and the phone's always going ding, 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 questions and answers coming from all over the place. But never mind. George Priestley's just joined us. He says, hey, Nick, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, George. All is well. And I hope you're keeping well. We've had a decent day. Penny Graham saying evening, Nick and Lydia and all. Very cold and wet here. Yeah, well, it's pretty wet, not cold here, Penny. It's been a miserable all day. It's been overcast. It's been wet, cold, horrible. My roof hasn't been performing as it should, so I've had virtually no solar power today, and I've had to turn the heating back on. Well, I haven't yet, but it will come on later this evening, I think, when the electricity is a bit cheaper. We'll see. James just joined us, so great to see our friends the Giffords, Graham and Jane from Upper Tofton Call. They're saying good evening from a cold and wet Toft. Penny's saying getting jab Sunday afternoon. So it looks as if a lot of us, we're probably, well, I'm probably in that age group. I'm not speaking for everybody, of course, but it looks like a lot of our teams are getting themselves vaccinated. So hopefully we're looking at getting back to some kind of normality come the middle of the year. Wife and I were looking at some flights last night. Disappointed that we couldn't find any for where we wanted to go, but never mind. That may come later in the year, so we will see. Right, tonight's rounds. Let me just talk you through tonight's rounds. We started off with Wednesday the 3rd. It's entitled Wednesday the 3rd. Round number 2 is an initial letter link. An initial letter link where we take the first letters of the first 9 answers, rearrange them to spell out the answer to question 10. Round number 3 is a connections round again, where I ask you 9 general knowledge questions, or 2 series of 4. I can't remember what I've got tonight, but I think it's 9 general knowledge questions. And question 10 asks for a connection between the previous 9 answers. Then round 4 is a trivia trail tonight, where the last letter of your first answer is the first letter of the next answer until we get to number 10. The last letter of number 10 is first letter of number 1. And then we've got a rather unusual round. I threw in a health and safety round. A health and safety round. I had a call from the health and safety executive, so I thought I'd put in a quick round on health and safety. So basically the answers, all the questions will contain the word health and or safety. And then round number 6 tonight will just be a general trivia round, just a general trivia round to keep you all on your toes as we go into those things. Now then, as far as last week, wait a minute, let me just we just have 1 or 2 more people signing. Mike Yates is saying good evening, good evening. Mike, hope all is well with you, keeping well. We've got full team tonight, or are you on your own? You'll have to let me know. Robin said I asked, and asked him how for his people was. He didn't reply, but he knew it. Oh, that's very clever. I asked an estimate what the correct name for his people was. He didn't reply, but he knew it. Oh, dear God, yes, quite. Carol Green, Cornish Tykes here. Not being too bad a day here. Quite a bit of sunshine, she said. Well, I did notice on the news that 1 or 2 places in the UK had some glorious sunshine. It appeared mostly on the west coast, I think, southwest, and certainly Cumbria had a little bit of sun, apparently, according to the news. We've just had some overcast, grey, miserable, horrible weather today, but never mind. Right, Home Alone 6, last week's joint winners. Home Alone 6 have just signed in, so good evening to Home Alone 6. I hope you're raring to go tonight. Another dead easy, straightforward quiz for you all to fall out over. We'll see. Talking of that, we had a fantastic turnout last Wednesday with 5 teams. It was the joint first place. We started off, I've just mentioned them, Home Alone 6 ended up with 64 points. The Quizzy Rascals were on 64 points. Split the Difference were on 64 points. We had the Teasers on 64 points. PRS on 64 points. They were last week's top 5 teams. Then we had the Latham House Lockdown and Purple Flame, both on 62 points. Hotly Pursued by Jed and Tracy on 61. Then we had Pick and Mix on 60. Then we had Julie Ian and his bottle of Shiraz and Mick Roberts, both on 59, I think, or something like that. Oh no, Mick Roberts, sorry, 58. The Yorkies were on 57, alongside Michelle and Charlie on 57. Great White were on 57. I won't go any further, because it'll bore you to death, but never mind. But it was a great scoring last week, so well done, everybody. So Faye's just joined us. She said, hi, Nick, Lydia, and all happy hump day. Happy hump day to you too, Faye. No sun in Burton. Yeah, miserable today in Burton. I think the Midlands generally has been pretty rubbish all the way from the mountains of Wales all the way through to the Wash. Sounds like a bit of a washout today. Oh, excuse the pun, but never mind. Now then, for all you sports fans, just in case you're interested, I've said I'm hosting a quiz stupidly on Friday night, which is just a sports quiz. There'll be 6 rounds of general trivia on sporting sports things. Not that I know an awful lot about sports, but never mind. I'm sure I can put a quiz together which will baffle everybody. So if you are at a dead loss and you want to do something on Friday night, you're more than welcome to come and join us. That's a little bit earlier at 7 o'clock, and it's in aid of, well, it's not in aid of anything, actually. It's just something to keep the Rugby Borough Football Club entertained, I think. It's more like it. But there are some prizes, actually, for the winners and losers. Other than that, of course, we'll be running our normal Sunday night quiz from Sunny Hill Morton here. What's notes on there? Roy's just put, hi, Nick. Hillary has just told me that I'm gullible and irresponsible with money. You wait till I tell her I won the Nigerian lottery. You better tell her now then, Roy. Oh, dear. I remember getting some things when I used to run the shop. I was always getting emails from Nigeria. I have $10 million to invest. Would you mind giving me your bank details and I'll put it in your bank for safekeeping? God, how can people be that silly? Never mind, maybe they can. Right, Dave and Anne Anderson have just joined us from another not so sunny Essex. So good evening, Dave and Jane. Hope all is well. Sorry, Anne and Jane. Hope you're keeping well. I'm raring to do some quizzing tonight. Jackie's saying, is there a booby prize on Friday? Well, that's almost witty, that is, Jackie. Well played. Adam Foster's just joining us. Evening all. He's saying Spoon and Fish back in the game. Great to see Spoon and Fish. Nice to see you, Adam. Hope all is well with you. And you're raring to go again tonight. 6 rounds, pretty straightforward trivia tonight. We start off, as I say, with Wednesday the 3rd. That's round number 1. Round number 2 will be an initial letter link. Round 3 tonight is a connections round. Round 4 will be a trivia trail. Round number 5, I said something to do with health and safety, either in the question or in the answer. And finally, round number 6 is just a general trivia round to keep all on your toes. Nothing too tricky tonight. Let's hope we can keep the scores high as we did last week, and we'll see how we go. Now then, what's everybody else been up to this week? Well, I know it's not been a long time since Sunday, and we've got a few bits on this week. As I said, we're having our vaccinations on Friday. Got to take the car in for a service. It's first service tomorrow. My lovely electric car. It's a year old now, and I've got to take it in. They're going to charge me £60 for a first service. I'm not sure what on earth they're likely to do for £60, because there's not a lot you can service an electric car. You can fill the washer bottle up at the front. I suppose you can check the tyres. You can give them all a good kick. It's only done 5,000 miles, so there's little point in checking the brakes. And all the lights work, so I can't really see what on earth they're going to charge me £60 for. To be fair, they did say they were going to give it a clean. So it's an expensive clean, but never mind. It's got to go over. Because it's a leased vehicle, you have to have them serviced regardless whether it needs one or not, but never mind. Yes, they'll just look at it, kick it around a bit, wash it and say, yeah, that's fine, stamp the book again, I suppose. Yeah, put some new AA batteries in it, maybe, Robbie. That sounds a good idea. Takes a lot of those, I tell you. But never mind. Oh, dear. Do they allow loud laughing in Hawaii? Or just a low ha? Oh, dear God, that's a good... I like that, Faye. That's joke of the night so far. Do they allow loud laughing in Hawaii, or is it just a low ha? Oh, dear God. That is dreadful. Ian's just joined us, so we've got Ian and his bottler, Ian, Harry and Julian, and his bottler of Shiraz. They were there or thereabouts last week. I think they managed 59 points, so it wasn't far off. Now, do remember, if you enjoy the quizzes, do hit the like button. I've got 12 likes tonight. I like to try and get 30 if we can. It's not very hard. You just hit the little like button. And, of course, there is the subscribe. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pewey1957, at the click of the button. Not that it means a lot. It does mean that you probably just get forewarning of all the quizzes coming up. But, yeah, it's great. Carol's just said, I'd moved heaven and earth to be able to break 100 on this course, sighed the veteran. Try heaven, advised the caddy. You've already moved most of the earth. Oh dear. Mick Roberts has just joined us. Mick and Bev online. Hedgehog's woken up in the garden. Excellent. It's probably time to go back to sleep then, isn't it, Mick? Because the poor thing I can imagine him waking up at the weekend, but John and Hillary have just joined us. The famous five are here. John, you'll have to tell me who else is in your team with you tonight. I trust you've got Hillary with you, but you'll have to let me know all the members' names so I can give them fine for a second. Yeah, PRS, what's this? Electric cars here? So they replace the spindle thing that runs the dynamo against the car wheel. Do they? All right. Well, after a year, they don't wear out that fast. Surely not. And Georgie Lambert has just joined us from the Yorkies. Right, it is now 2015. It's time to crack on with the quiz. We've got 55 currently online with 19 likes. Great to see so many people, as usual, taking part on a Wednesday night. So, without further ado, let me bring up the quiz on my computer screen. Whilst still looking, of course, at the chat and you lot. Just move it up a bit so it squashes itself. There we have it. All right, then. First round tonight. Basically is entitled Wednesday the 3rd, so that you use the initial letters of the word Wednesday, then there's a 0 and a 3, followed by an R and a D. So we've got 13 possible answers to round 1. So round 1 is entitled Wednesday the 3rd. Right, here we go then. What's that phrase just put? Just had the vaccine and she put it in my leg. Pfizer killing now. What? Yes, my Pfizer killing now. Very good. Oh dear, oh dear. You have to read these quite carefully. Yes. Right, here we go then. Question number 1, starting with a letter W. It's a 2-word answer, really, this one. So as to keep it safe, what did Andy Murray start tying to his tennis shoe in 2015? So as to keep it safe, what did Andy Murray start tying to his tennis shoe in 2015? I'm not exactly sure of a month or a date, but apparently he started this ritual in 2015. 2-word answer starting with the letter W. Is it Willie? God blimey, that could have been a bit painful if he was belting around the tennis court with that tied to his shoe. Right, question number 2. What part of the human body can go before the words muff and ring and go after the word wheat? So what part of the human body can go before the words muff and ring and go after the word wheat? Starts with the letter E, of course, as in Wednesday. Yes, that's come up all right, Treasure. Perhaps if you hyphenate them, what's the life for? I don't know. Question number 3, starting with the letter D. It's just a 1-word answer I'm after. Old Ned, Old Nick, and Old Harry are names that have been used to describe which figure? So Old Ned, Old Nick, and Old Harry are names that have been used to describe which figure? It's a 1-word answer I'm after. Tonight I've started on a tin of half pipe. Nothing to do with skateboarding, I'll let you know, but it's a session pale ale from Always at 99p. Not too bad. Question number 4, starting with the letter N. What is a colourless, odourless gas that accounts for approximately 78% of the Earth's atmosphere? So question 4 again, what is a colourless, odourless gas that accounts for approximately 74% of the Earth's atmosphere? Question number 5, starting with the letter E, I think. In what popular soap opera would you find a hair salon known as Blades? So in what popular soap opera would you find a hair salon known as Blades? Apparently, not that I've ever seen it personally, but there you go. Dyson is planning to release an electric car by 2022. I bet it sucks. Oh dear. He gave up, didn't he, Mr. Dyson? He gave up with that idea of producing an electric car. I think he realised it was going to cost him rather too much. But never mind. Question number 6, starting with the letter S, which gives you a little bit of help. Traditionally, sailors, like me, would get a motto of what bird? Sorry, a tattoo of what bird after travelling 5,000 nautical miles? So question 6 again. Traditionally, sailors would get a tattoo of what bird after travelling 5,000 nautical miles? Roy said, I bet it cleans up. Oh dear, oh dear. Question number 7, listen carefully. It's a multiple choice question. They all start with the same letter, which is D, of course. What would you most likely do with a Bedford rascal? I'll give you the choice. Would you drink it, drive it, or defend it? So question number 7, what would you most likely do with a Bedford rascal? I'll give you the choice. Would you drink it, drive it, or defend it? I suppose from a legal point of view, if you were a rascal that came from Bedford, you may defend it, but I don't want that a silly answer. Sorry, giving you help there. Question number 8. I really just need the, well, I know. I'm giving you the first letter of this one because this starts with the letter A, of course, A. The Atlantic Highway is a nickname for which A road that runs through Devon and Cornwall? So question number 8, the Atlantic Highway is a nickname for which A road that runs through Devon and Cornwall? It's basically just a big dual carriageway most of the way now. Question number 9, starting with the letter Y. What name, the name for which Asian country's currency comes from a word meaning yearning? So the name for which Asian country's currency comes from a word meaning yearning? Question number 10 is just a bit of mathematics, pretty straightforward, I think. Well, I hope so. How is a quarter times a quarter expressed as a decimal number? So how is a quarter times a quarter expressed as a decimal number? Remember, that's got to start with a 0, which kind of helps a little, not much. Question number 11 is for all you sports people. How many successive pots must a snooker player make to score a 1-4-7 break? So question 11 again, how many successive pots must a snooker player make to score a 1-4-7 break? Question number 12. This starts with the letter R. The letter R. Which nature conservation charity launched Operation Lapwing back in 2002? So which nature conservation charity launched Operation Lapwing back in 2002? Can't give any clues with that one because it's pretty straightforward. And finally, question number 13, starting with the letter D, which kind of gives this away a bit. What board game features a double blank and a double 6 tile? So question 13, starting with the letter D, what board game features a double blank and a double 6 tile? Apparently that was a question from my chase book, and one of the chasers got that answer wrong. However, they didn't know what letter it started with, but they still got it wrong. They put Scrabble down. Probably they weren't listening to, or trying to answer it too fast or something, but never mind. Just a matter of interest. Is it a table game? Yes, definitely a table game, Ian. But in my pub, it's normally played on boards. Right then, everybody. There we have 13 questions. I'll run through the answers. Let's just hope you've got your answers should, or the initial letters and or numbers should read Wednesday the 3rd. Wednesday the 3rd. Jackie, we need the currency for question number 8. We need the currency. There's only 2 I can actually think of that way, that start with the letter Y. So you could have a guess at one of those. See what you think. Robin was obviously being rude. He retracted his message. Sorry, yes, Lydia's. Aha! Apparently Lydia, well, I've tried, made Lydia a moderator. Don't quite know what that means, but I was trying to look into why certain words didn't come up in her whatever, and I've looked everywhere on the internet, and I've even sent off an email to YouTube to try and for them to explain it to me, but it doesn't seem to they haven't come back with much yet, but we'll see. Right, anyway, let's do some marking. We started off, Andy Murray apparently started tying his wedding ring to his shoelaces. Number 2, I was after the ear. Number 3, old Ned, old Nick, and old Harry. Of course, another word for the devil, old Nick, definitely. Number 4 was nitrogen. Number 5 was, of course, EastEnders. I can't think of any other soap beginning with an E anyway. Number 6, traditionally, sailors got a tattoo of a seagull. But never mind. Number 7, you would drive it. A Bedford Rascals, of course, of a type of Bedford van. You would drive it. Number 8, I was after the A39. The A39, it's known as the Atlantic Highway and runs for most of its course through Devon and Cornwall. Number 9, that Asian country's currency I wanted, meaning yearning, was the yen. Number 10, a quarter times a quarter, of course, is the 16th, which expressed as a decimal is 0.0625. 0.0625. Well, if you work that out. Number 11, of course, you need 36 successive pots to make a 147 break. Number 12 was the RSPB, or the Royal Society for Protection of Birds. And finally, number 13 was the game of dominoes, which can be played on a standard table, which most people do. But in a lot of pubs, it's played on domino boards. But only so people don't flip them all over the place and you lose them on the floor, I suppose. I deleted my first message because I got the tense wrong. Never mind. Right then, everybody, let's have some scores in. Right, Jed and Tracy straight in with 11 points. We've got Carol Green with 12, Ian Millers with 11, PRS with 12, The Weak Links with 12. Mick Roberts has come in well with a good steady 10. The Booby Pros goes with a 9. Got Graham Giffen with an 11. The Teasers with a 12. Mike Yates off with an 11. Clive Shaw's put Knots, Eagles, Swallows. Oh, well, never mind. That's what I didn't actually look that up, to be fair, Clive. I thought it was a bit stupid anyway, but never mind. Adam Foster is on a 10. And Fish and Spoon. And we've got the Quizzy Rascals straight off with a 13. Home Alone 6 off with an 11. We've got Harry Julian, Ian and his bottle of Shiraz on 12 points. Michelle and Charlie on 12 points. We got Georgie and the Yorkies on 11. Sarah and our friends from Worcester. That's Russ Jones and Joe on 10. John and Henry O'Rourke on the famous 5 are on 10. Penny Graham's on 9 points. So very close first round. There's just a few points separating top to bottom. And split the difference straight in with 12 points. 12 points. Right then, round number 2 is entitled Initial Letter Link. It's an initial letter link. You take the first letter of each of your answers, and then question number 10 will ask you to rearrange them to spell out something. We'll ask you when we get there. So, just Google the tattooed bird. You would certainly seem to be the swallow. Okay. I didn't think seagull sounded very clever either myself. Well, I'll tell you what. If you've all Googled and it appears to be a swallow, then give yourself a swallow. I should know because I was in the Navy. The thing is, I never actually got a tattoo. I was going to have an anchor, but I managed to escape. But yes, certainly if Google says it's a swallow and you're all convinced it's a swallow, do feel free to give yourselves an extra point, which is fair enough. I will accept in that case swallow or seagull. It does seem a bit strange to have a picture of a seagull, I have to say, tattooed on your arm. It's not very sailor-like, is it? Because it migrates 5,000 miles. Wait a minute, isn't that the Arctic term? Migrates 5,000 miles. Maybe. Okay, all right. You needn't bother putting all your scores in again. I'll just, I'll accept them when we get round to the next score. Sorry, but yes, do feel free to up your scores if you feel it's. Roy, I'm not accepting swan, nor am I accepting starling or sedge warbler. Or, come on, think of a few more birds beginning with S's. I don't mind. Swifts. Oh, dear. I hope Elon Musk never gets into a scandal. Elongate would be really drawn out, it would. That was a swift response. Okay, everybody, all right. Sparrow, that was it. Siberian parrot. What about these? Stormy petrel. No, it could be a stormy petrel. There's a good one for you. Right, okay. Where did we got to? Have I actually said anything from round 2 yet? Oh, right, okay. Starting, no, I'm not saying what letter it starts with because it's an initial letter link, isn't it? Question about the skewer. Well done, Stowe. Would you shut up? A lot of you. You're putting me off now. Right, here we go then. Siskin, that's a good one. I like the Siskin. Right, question number 1, here we go. Newspeak, is a fictional language first found in which George Orwell dystopian novel? Carol's saying, I like the spanner. It makes it easier to find the questions. Ooh, excellent. That's what I like to see. Oh, wait a minute. PRS have put a spanner on their page now. They're copying the spanner. It's not the correct colour. So Newspeak is a fictional language first found in which George Orwell dystopian novel? Not so much of a wrench. God. Oh dear. Right, off birds then, unless we can come up with some birds. Question number 2, what name is given to the hard white material that forms an elephant's tusk? So what name is given to the hard white material that forms an elephant's tusk? Now, do remember, all we need to know is the first letter of each of your anagrams. Question number 3, this is one for Roy to work out. Nice, easy one for you, Roy. Daft for Lord is an anagram of which famous sporting venue? So that's D-A-F-T, for F-O-R, Lord, L-O-R-D, is an anagram of which famous sporting venue? Not too tricky, that one. Otherwise, got it straight away. Look at that. Question number 4 is not too testing either. You'll be pleased to know, in which country would you find 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains? So question 4 again, in which country would you find 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains? Surprisingly, it is not the country with the highest average height above sea level, which I find quite intriguing personally, but there we have it. Right, question number 3. 5 even. Just testing. Question number 5. Who was Smokey living next door? But you, they're both moaning at me. Who was Smokey living next door to in the title of a 1976 hit single? So question 5 again. Who was Smokey living next door to in the title of a 1976 hit single? Is that rain I can hear? Or is that the fridge? I think it's raining. I can hear rain coming down. Question number 6. One for you scientists this. If Andy Garcia is silver, Pierce Brosnan is lead, and Sandra Bullock is antimony, what is Hugh Grant? So question number 6 again. If Andy Garcia is silver, Pierce Brosnan is lead, and Sandra Bullock is antimony, what is Hugh Grant? You need to put any literal answers down for that. Yeah, that's what I thought, Ian. You got to be a bit careful. You could have just said he was a, yeah, I don't understand that. Question number 7. Which Australian city is named after the Queen Consort of King William IV? So question number 7 again. Which Australian city is named after the Queen Consort of King William IV? Well, I'm sure she wasn't called Sydney. That's one of them out of the way. You could probably do it by process of elimination, I suppose. Question number 8. What alternative word for revenue is also used to refer to the relative rate at which an employer gains and or loses staff? So question 8 again. What alternative word for revenue is also used to refer to the relative rate at which an employer gains and or loses staff? Question number 9. After Russia and the United States of America, what was the third country to independently send humans into space? So after the Soviet Union and the USA, what was the third country to independently send humans into space? Now then, question number 10. I ask you a question which is using the initial letters of the previous 9 answers. Listen carefully. It's a 2-word answer I'm after. The first letters of the first 9 answers can be rearranged to spell the name of which toy, which was named Toy of the Year in 1966. So the first letters of the first 9 answers can be rearranged to spell the name of which toy, which was named Toy of the Year in 1966. It wasn't World Cup Willie. Just to help you out. What have you done it? Oh. I will give you a minute to work 1 or 2 of those out. Oh dear. Very clever, Clive. And yes, I suppose I am. It's just as well I wasn't Iranian, really, wasn't it? Oh dear. Ian's put, talking of Dyson cars, I'm not a fan. Dear. Oh dear. The only problem with Dyson things, they're made of plastic. That is the only real problem. Right, everybody, we've got 60 people playing tonight, or currently online, looking at my beautiful complexion tonight. Freshly manicured hair and sideboard tomorrow. What? Right then, let's go through some answers. I'm sure you'll all have got those questions right. Surely, initial letter link. We started off. Here we go then. That dystopian novel I was after is entitled 1984. 1984. That gave you the letter N. Number 2, of course, was Ivory. Number 3, Daft for Lord. Of course, the sporting venue I was after was Old Trafford. Number 4, that country I was after was Nepal. Number 5, who was Smokey living next door to? They were living next door to Alice. Number 6, of course, was straightforward. Silver is AG, or Andy Garcia. Piers Brosnan, PB, was lead. Sandra Bullock, SB, is antimony even. And HG, of course, is the symbol for Mercury. So well done if you work that out. Mercury. Initial letters, their names can be taken as the chemical symbols. And of course, HG represents Mercury. Number 7, that Australian city I was after was Adelaide. Couldn't really have been many others, I suppose. Number 8, I was after turnover. Number 9, of course, was China, that country that sent humans in space. And finally, number 10, that toy I was after was that magnificent Action Man. Action Man. Toy of the Year in 1966 even. Well done if you worked that one out. A great year for all England fans, that one, of course, 1966. Right, the weak links have moved on to a fantastic 22 points. Do remember to add that extra point in if you got the swallow in the last round. Climb Janet teasers have also moved on to 22. We've got PRS now moved on to 23. Michelle Gibbons on 22 points. We've got Mick Roberts on 21. The Yorkers have moved on to 21. Jed and Tracy on 21. Grant Gibbons on 21 points. Mike Yates is on 22 points. Carol Green's on 21. Got Home Alone 6 on 22 points. Harry, Julian, Ian and his brother Shiraz, they moved on 10 points to 22. We've got Paul O'Flynn and the Quizzy Rascals on 23 points. Sarah, Russ, Joe and James are on 20 points. Spoon and Fish are on 20 points. We've got Ian Miller on 20 points. The famous 5 have moved on to 21 points. Jackie Skip, the Booby Prize girls are on 18 points. We split their difference on 22 points. Let's say put. I hired a handyman this week and gave him a list. When I got home, only items 1, 3, 5, and 7 were done. Turns out he only does odd jobs. That's very clever, very funny. Well done, Fly. Ian's put, I've made my own e-car using a motor from a washing machine. I took it for a spin earlier. Oh dear. Penny Graham's on 16. Well done. So you're saying that the atomic, that wasn't toy of the year. Atomic now wasn't toy of the year in 1966. Oh dear. No, I'm not. Right then, here we go. Connections round. Are we ready? Are we ready? Connections round. Right, I'm going to ask you 9 general knowledge questions, where question 10 asks for a connection between the previous 9 answers. You might be able to get it after the first couple. So I'm looking for a connection between the previous answers. So here we go. Question 1. Which future Prime Minister introduced a 1911 bill that made tea breaks a legal requirement in the workplace? I did try searching this and it didn't really come up with much, unfortunately. There were lots of bills passed in 1911, so you didn't take that as de facto if you ever want to use it in a quiz yourself, but never mind. I'm sure it probably is right. Which future Prime Minister introduced a 1911 bill that made tea breaks a legal requirement in the workplace? Is that not posted? Yeah, that's come on. Question number 2. It may help if you get the connection with this one. In the late autumn of 1802, which famous author broke her engagement with Harris Big Wither the day after she accepted his marriage proposal? Faye's just saying she's on Marlborough New Zealand Pinot Grigio tonight from Co-op. It's really good. Fair play to you. Fair play to you, Fair. I think we'll be seeing more wines actually from the New World. One thing they'll be able to sell us actually. So question 2 again. In the late autumn of 1802, which famous author broke her engagement with Harris Big Wither the day after she accepted his marriage proposal? Don't suppose he was too happy, was he? But never mind. Question number 3. Who was an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, theologian, and author who is widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time and as a key figure in the scientific revolution? So question 3 again. Who was an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, theologian, and author who is widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time and as a key figure in the scientific revolution? Question number 4. This might well give you the link straight away. From a phrase in a report in the Times during the Crimean War, who gained the nickname the lady with the lamp? So from a phrase in a report in the Times during the Crimean War, who gained the nickname the lady with the lamp? We're all doing all right so far. Right, question number 5. Another famous author. Which famous author was forced to work in a factory at the age of 12, which meant that he became interested in socio-economic conditions and their effects on the working classes? So question 5 again. Which famous author was forced to work in a factory at the age of 12, which meant that he became interested in socio-economic conditions and their effects on the working classes? Question number 6. Which computer pioneer and code breaker was given a posthumous royal pardon, which went some way to addressing his 1952 conviction for gross indecency? Obviously, it didn't bring him back, but there you go. So which computer pioneer and code breaker was given a posthumous royal pardon, which went some way to addressing his 1952 conviction for gross indecency? Does appear he was treated quite badly by the authorities, but there you have it. Question number 7, something I've got to watch, but we haven't. All Is True is a 2018 British fictional historical film directed by Kenneth Branagh and written by Ben Elton. It stars Branagh as which famous historical character? So question 7 again. All Is True is a 2018 British fictional historical film directed by Kenneth Branagh and written by Ben Elton. It stars Branagh as which famous historical character? I'll put fictional, historical, and famous historical. So he's historical at least. Right, I expect everybody to have got the connection at this stage. But if you haven't, just stick in there. You might be able to work it out. Question number 8. Who invented the words electrode, cathode, and ion? The SI unit of electrical capacitance was named in his honor. So question 8 again. Who invented the words electrode, cathode, and ion? The SI unit of electrical capacitance was named in his honor. I hope you know your capacitors from your resistors. Question number 9. The date gives this one away a little. Listen carefully. In the 1660s, Parliament withheld part of which famous architect's salary in an attempt to make him work faster? It's quite true. So in the 1660s even, Parliament withheld which part of which famous architect's salary in an attempt to make him work faster? I suppose if you can stretch it out a bit, you do, don't you? It goes on today, 400 years later. Why do something in an hour when you can take 12 to do the same thing? Dear God. And finally, of course, what is the connection between the previous 9 answers? So what's the connection between the previous 9 answers. I hope that wasn't too testing that round. It certainly appeared quite easy as I was doing it in the end, but then I've got all the answers in front of me. So let's just hope you managed to get those together. Right, halfway through the quiz. We're 55 minutes in. You've still got me for another 55 minutes if you're lucky. Well, maybe not. No, 40 odd minutes. Got to take off the 15 I was waffling to start with, of course. I've just opened myself a little bottle of plum porter. That'll keep me going for the next round or two. A fruity, deep red beer. Very nice indeed. Right, let's do some marking after round number 3, the connections round. We started off the future Prime Minister who introduced the 1911 bill that made tea breaks a legal requirement apparently was Winston Churchill, although after doing a lot of extensive research, I couldn't actually find that. But then there were a lot of bills, as I say, in 1911, so it's something to do with the changes in working principles or whatever. Anyway, question number 2. In the late autumn of 1802, which famous author broke her engagement with Harris Big Wither? I said, I'd break the engagement with somebody called Big Wither. It was Jane Austen, of course, Jane Austen. Number 3, that influential mathematician, physicist, astronomer, etc., was Sir Isaac Newton. Number 4 was Florence Nightingale, of course, the Lady of the Lamp. Number 5 was Charles Dickens, that guy that was interested in socio-economic conditions. Number 6 was Alan Turing, treated very badly by the establishment. Number 7 was Ted Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, even Bill, sorry. Number 8 was Faraday. Number 9, I was after Sir Christopher Wren. And finally, of course, the connection between all these, they have appeared on British banknotes of some denomination. I can't remember them all, but Churchill's currently on the £5, Jane Austen's on the £10, Newton was on a £5, Florence Nightingale, I think, was a £10, Charles Dickens was a £10, I think Alan Turing was definitely on a £50 note. Willie Shakespeare was on the £20 note. Faraday, I can't remember. I think that was £20 note. And Wren, you'll have to put me right with that one, but never mind. Right, here we go then. Carol Green, straight off with a fantastic 30 points. Well played, Carol. Teasers have moved on to 32. The famous 5 are now on 31. Mick Roberts has moved on to 30. Jed and Tracy on 29. Michelle and Charlie and James, if he's playing, they're on 31 points. We've got Georgie Lambert and the Yorkies. They've moved on to 29. So Georgie and Rory, well played them. Jane and Graham Gifford are on 31 points. Ian Miller's on 28. We've got Home Alone 6 on 31. Alan Foster and Spoon and Fish are on 27. Got the Weak Links have moved on to 30 points. PRS have moved on to 31 points. Sarah's now on 26 points. Well played, Sarah. And again, Paula and the Quizzy Rascals have moved on to 33 points. Split the Difference have moved on to 32 points. The Booby Prize Girls on 23 points. We've got Harry, Julie, Ian and his bottle of Shiraz. They've added 9 to their score on 31 points. Mike Yates is on 29 points. Penny Graham's moved on to 23. Roy saying Charles Dickens went into a bar and ordered a martini. The barman asked if he wanted olive or twist. Oh, olive or a twist. Yes. Very, very, very witty, Roy. My niece has just had a new baby and she's called him, what do I call him? Marley Jacob. Very Dickensian. Marley Jacob. Anyway, let's crack on. Trivia trial, round number 4. Now, the trivia trial, we'll take the last letter of your first answer, the first letter of your next answer. And so forth until we get to number 10, where the last letter of number 10 is the first letter of number 1. Get the idea? So it's all very close at the top there. 1 or 2 teams dropped a point there. I'm surprised, actually, but never mind. Right, so here we go with the trivia trial. Question 1. Who was the most important, the most beautiful, the most magically soggy old cloth cat in the whole wide world? Just a one-word answer I'm after. So who was the most important, the most beautiful, the most magical, soggy old cloth cat in the whole wide world? Was that true? Oh, sorry. I'm not on the bottom of the chat com. What's he put? Sandwich went into a bar. Sorry, don't sue food. Sorry, don't serve food. Dear. Like that, Ian. Question number 2. Where did Billy Butlin buy a piece of land and subsequently open his first holiday camp in 1936? So question 2 again. Where did Billy Butlin buy a piece of land and subsequently open his first holiday camp in 1936? Right, take the last letter of that answer. It's the first letter of number 3. What is the name given to a female badger, a female guinea pig, or hedgehog? So what is the name given to a female badger, guinea pig, or hedgehog? How do we pronounce this, Liz? What do you reckon? Gyno? Or Gino? Gyno. I think Gyno. Right, question number 4. A little bit of a debate how I pronounce this, but I'm going to pronounce it how I think it should be pronounced. Gynophobia is the irrational fear and or morbid dread of what? One word answer I'm after. Obviously starting with the last letter of the previous answer. So gynophobia is the irrational fear and or morbid dread of what? Just as well it doesn't affect me. I've had 4 of them in my car today. Oh dear. Right, take the last letter of that one word answer, and it's the first letter of this one. Standing at an elevation of approximately 1,400 meters, Kathmandu is the capital and largest city in which country? Nothing irrational about it. Oh dear. So standing at an elevation of approximately 1,400 meters, Kathmandu is the capital and largest city in which country? And I'm sure we've had this already in the quiz, haven't we? Dear, oh dear, I'm sorry I repeat answers, but never mind. At least they're not the same question, you'll be pleased to know. Right, take the last letter of that country, and is the first letter of this one. Question number 6, meaning red stick in French, Baton Rouge is the capital city of which US state? So question 6 again, meaning red stick in French, Baton Rouge is the capital city of which US state? It helps because you've got the last letter of the previous answer, of course. Question number 7, take the last letter of that US state, and it's the first letter of this one-word answer. What is the Latin name used for the element silver, from which its 2-letter symbol is derived? We've already had its 2-letter symbol, which may help you. So what is the Latin name used for the element silver, from which its 2-letter symbol is derived? Hope you're all taking part, taking notice earlier on. Right, take the last letter of that name of that element, or the Latin name of the element, and it's the first letter of number 8. Which Machiavellian criminal mastermind was described as the Napoleon of crime by his adversary? That's a bit of a testing one, isn't it? So which Machiavellian criminal mastermind was described as the Napoleon of crime by his adversary? Just a one-word answer I'm after for that one. You don't need his title or whatever else. Just a one-word answer. Question number 9. Take the last letter of that criminal mastermind's name, and it's the first letter of this. Question number 9. What is the longest river in the world to flow entirely within one country? So question 9 again. What is the longest river in the world to flow entirely within one country? Do remember, these are all one-word answers in this round. They're all one-word answers. You'll be pleased to know. May make it a bit easier for you, maybe not. And finally, question number 10. What one word is used to describe the opposite of a flood tide, the phase during which the tidal current is flowing inland? So question 10 again. What one word is used to describe the opposite of a flood tide, the phase during which the tidal current is flowing inland? So I presume it means the tide is flowing outwards. So take the name of that tide, and you'll find the last letter is the first letter of number 1. The most important, most magical, soggy, old-cloth cat in the whole wide world. Right then, the first and last letters all the way down till you get to number 10, where the last letter of number 10 is the first letter of number 1. Well, there are a couple of tough ones in there, but hopefully you managed to keep up. Right then, everybody, I'll give you some answers to the trivia trial round. See how you fared. We started off the most important, most beautiful, most magical, soggy old cloth cat in the whole wide world. That was a cat known as Bagpuss. Bagpuss. That gave you the S, of course, for Skegness, where Billy Butlin bought a piece of land and then subsequently built a holiday camp. That gave you another S for a sow, a female badger, guinea pig, or hedgehog is known as a sow. That gave you a W for a woman, of course. Yes, gynophobia, the irrational fear of women. That gave you an N, of course, for the country of Nepal, which in turn gave you the L for the state of Louisiana. That gave you the Latin name for the element silver, which is known as argentum. Argentum. Well done if you got that. That, of course, is where the AG comes from for silver, argentum. That gave you the M for the Napoleon of crime, who, of course, was Professor Moriarty. I didn't need the professor, of course. It was Moriarty I was after, Sherlock Holmes' biggest adversary. And that gave you the Y for the river Yangtze, which is wholly within China. That in turn gave you the E for an ebb tide, The B took you all the way back to Bagpuss. So well done if you got that. I'm expecting a few 7 or 8s on that round, but maybe a few 10s if we're lucky. So well done if you got that. Not the yeah then. No, not the yeah. It could be. Oh dear. Carol Green's on a 40. Well done, Carol. The weak links are on 40 points. We've got Jen and Tracy on 39. Michelle and Charlie are on 41 points. These are some good scores, you know, not missing too many there. Emila's on 36. We've got the Teasers on 42 points. Graham and Jan are on 41 points. Ian's put, they scare the shit out of me all times. Nick Roberts is on 40. The Famous Five are on 41. Got Home Alone 6 on 41. Quizzy Rascals have moved on to 43 points. White Yates is on 39. Spoon and Fish on 37. We've got Rory and Georgie on 37 points. We've got Sarah and We got Sarah, Russ, Joe and James on a fantastic 36 points. The Booby Prize girls have moved on to 33 points. Harry, Julie, Ian and his bottle of Shiraz, they've added 10 to their score. They're now on to 41 points with Penny Graham on 30 points. So well played, everybody. Anybody near the 40s at the moment is doing very well indeed. At the moment, we still have, I think out in the lead, is it the Quizzy Rascals on 43. So they're the team to beat at the present. But we've got a number of teams which are very close indeed, as it was last week. Split the difference also on 42 points. And we've got PRS's score. I did those on, I don't know. Can't see it, but never mind. Right then, round number 5 is entitled Health and Safety. 10 general knowledge questions themed around health and or safety. Now, the word health and or safety will either be in the question or the answer somewhere, or it's something to do with it. Does that make any sense whatsoever? No, probably not, but never mind. Let's not worry too much. Round number 5. Do feel free, everybody, if you're interested, to hit the like button. I've got 25 likes tonight. There are 60 of you watching, so that only means at least another 5 presses shortly. Just hit the like button. You know it makes sense. Right, round number 5, health and safety. We start off. Thank you very much for those likes. The World Health Organization has its headquarters in which city in Switzerland? So question number 1, the World Health Organization has its headquarters in which city in Switzerland? I don't know how many cities there are in Switzerland. I've never really counted, I suppose, but never mind. Not many, I trust, but perhaps there are. So do remember, all the questions and or answers will have the word health and or safety, and or are something to do with health and safety. So question number 2, which scientist is credited with inventing the miner's safety lamp after it was shown to the Royal Society in 1815? Well, to be fair, he wasn't the first one working on it, but he's the guy that we all know that supposedly invented it. So which scientist is credited with inventing the miner's safety lamp after it was shown to the Royal Society in 1815? Very important invention, of course. Question number 3, John and Hillary should get this one. First formed in 2011, the health lottery in the United Kingdom is drawn on how many days of the week? I'll give you the clue, it's more than 1 and less than 7. So first formed in 2011, the health lottery in the United Kingdom is drawn on how many days of the week? As a clue, it's more than 1 and it's less than 7. Question number 4, I was trying to find a bit more information, but it was going on, so I gave up. What famous 3-word safety warning used on the London Underground was first introduced in 1968 and was originally voiced by recording engineer Peter Lodge? It's a 3-word phrase which is often used. I think it's used on every station. So what famous 3-word safety warning used on the London Underground was first introduced in 1968 and was originally voiced by recording engineer Peter Lodge? Question number 5. Clues in the answer, of course, to this one. What is the sequel to the highly successful Till Death Us Do Part, a BBC television sitcom which ran between 1st of September 85 and the 3rd of April 1992? So question 5 again. What is a sequel to the highly successful Till Death Us Do Part, a BBC television sitcom which ran between the 1st of September 1985 and the 3rd of April 1992. Question number 6, I should have had this in the sports quiz for Friday night, but never mind, it's in tonight's quiz. In which of the following sports can you score points for a safety? I'll give you the choice. Is it American football, Australian rules football, or Gaelic football? So question 6 again, in which of the following sports can you score points for a safety? I'll give you the choice. Is it American football, Australian rules football, or Gaelic football? Question number 7. In 2018, who became the longest serving health secretary in the history of British politics before being replaced by the current incumbent, Matthew Hancock, better known as Matt to all his mates? So in 2018, who became the longest serving health secretary in the history of British politics before being replaced by the current incumbent, Matthew Hancock? I don't think he was too keen on well, I don't know what he wasn't very keen on. Something to do with the EU anyway, but never mind. Question number 8. Listen carefully on this one. Often referred to as Versace's best known creation. Who wore a black dress held together by oversized safety pins to the premiere of the 1994 film 4 Weddings and a Funeral? So question number 8. Often referred to as Versace's best known creation. Who wore a black dress held together by oversized safety pins to the premiere of the 1994 film 4 Weddings and a Funeral? That's a 2-word answer I'm after for that one. Question number 9. I'll perhaps add a little bit to this question, but never mind. First introduced in 1903, what brand of soft drink has a name that is a Maori language greeting meaning be healthy? So question 9 again. First introduced in 1903, what brand of soft drink has a name that is a Maori language greeting meaning be healthy? And certainly when I was a kid, it always used to be advertised in cinemas, if that helps you. It's obviously been going a long time, since 1903, nearly as long as I've been going. And finally, question number 10 is one that I'm sure my wife will get straight away. What type of animal was Tufty Fluffytail, who was created in 1953 to help teach small children how to stay safe? Was he used to stay safe crossing the roads? I can't remember. Yeah, I'm sure he used to take you across the road. It says stay safe, but I'm sure it was something to do with road safety, really, but never mind. Maybe it was more general safety than anything else. So what type of animal was Tufty Fluffytail, who was created in 1953 to help teach small children how to stay safe? I think it was stay safe whilst crossing the roads, but maybe I'm wrong. Right, there we have it. 10 general knowledge questions on health and safety. Let's see how you've all fared with those. I'll let you argue amongst the teams first. So all you teams, just have a quick argument amongst yourselves, see whether you can... I hate it when a whole team gets the other. Me and Ken used to be the worst when we used to go quizzing, we were always falling out. And then, of course, if he was right, he'd turn around and go, "I told you." And if I was right, I'd just smirk at him. Oh dear. I know he's listening. But yeah, probably been muttering at me, but never mind. It's true, quiz teams, we can easily talk ourselves out of questions or answers, can't we? All by arguing amongst ourselves. Right then, here we go. Here are the answers to the previous 10 questions. The World Health Organization's headquartered in Geneva. Well done if you got that. Number 2, the scientist I was after, who invented the miner's safety lamp, was Humphrey Davy. Humphrey Davy. Number 3, first formed in 2011, the health lottery is held on 5 days of the week, apparently Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Number 4, the famous 3-word safety warning on the London Underground, first introduced in 1968, was "Mind the gap." Mind the gap. So well done if you've got that. Question number 5, what's the sequel to Desert Stew Path? That was In Sickness and in Health, of course. And In Sickness and in Health, well done if you got that. Number 6, it's American football. Apparently you can get a point for safety. Number 7, of course, the replacement for, Matthew Hancock even became the replacement for Jeremy Hunt. Number 8, it was Elizabeth Hurley that wore the black dress held together with oversized safety pins. Number 9, that brand of soft drink I wanted, which comes from Maori language, meaning be healthy, is Kiora. Kiora. Well done if you got that. It was often advertised in cinemas, as I say. And finally, number 10, of course, Tufty Fluffytail was a squirrel. Tufty Fluffytail, the squirrel. Well done if you got that. I'm sure that probably amuses a few of you. Never mind. So well done if you got those. Right then, I'm expecting 1 or 2 of you to trip up on a couple of questions there, but never mind. Let's see how we fare after round number 5 before we go into the last round, which of course is just general trivia. So, how did Julian, Ian, and his bottle of Shiraz? They've added 9 to their score, so that's a very respectable 50 points. If you're in the 50s, you're doing very well now. The weak links are on 47. Mick Roberts is on 49. Michelle and Charlie are on 49. We've got the Famous 5 on 50. Well played, the Famous 5. Email is on 43. The Giffords are on 50 points. Well played, Jane and Graham. Sarah, Russ, Joe and James are on 42 points. We've got the Teasers, Clive and Janet, the Teasers are on 51 points. Jen and Trace are on 47 points. We've got the Boo Girls on 42. Adam Foster with Spoon and Fish are on 44 points. Home Loan 6 there or thereabouts on 49 points. We've got Georgie and Rory on 44 for the Yorkies. Carol Green saying Cornish, Humphrey Davy, born in Penzance, died in Geneva. Did he really? Well played, Carol, for that knowledge. That's a good bit of knowledge. 49 points. Penny Graham's moved on to 37. What's that? PRS saying you frozen on our screen making a funny face. Oh, better reboot me quickly. 51 points. Quizzy Rascals, 53 points. Well played, the Quizzy Rascals. Mike actually moved on to 49. We've got Split the Difference also on 51 points. So it looks like at the moment, we've got Split the Difference. We've got PRS. We've got the Teasers. All on 51 points, with a number of teams on 50 points, which are doing very well. But out in the lead still, we have the Quizzy Rascals on 53 points. A term that is commonly used to refer to comics that were originally published in which country? So question 1 again. Manga is a term that is commonly used to refer to comics that were originally published in which country? Question number 2 is one for you to work out. You can have a little go at this while somebody else carries on listening to the rest of the next question. What is the first letter of the alphabet that doesn't begin the names of any cities in the United Kingdom? So question 2 again. What is the first letter of the alphabet that doesn't begin the names of any cities in the United Kingdom? Now, these are UK cities. Question number 3 will probably take a little bit of time as well. It needs somebody to sing through the lyrics, unless you know it straight off the top of your head, which some quizzes might do. What's the name of the sheriff in Bob Marley's I Shot the Sheriff? So question 3 again. What was the name of the sheriff in Bob Marley's I Shot the Sheriff? I shot the sheriff, but shot no deputy. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Robin. Forgot I was singing. I shot the sheriff. I'm waiting for a rude remark there from Robin, but he's not going to rise to the bait, surely. Question number 4. In the old nursery rhyme, By Baby Bunting, what had Daddy gone to get? So question number 4. In the old nursery rhyme, By Baby Bunting, what had Daddy gone to get? Number 5, Liz. I'm just going to drop a couple of words. Listen to what I say. All right, just drop them out. It's the word 6. Yeah. Question number 5. Sharing the same first 4 letters, what names were the most common for baby girls and baby boys born in the United Kingdom in 2018? Is it hammered? In the old nursery rhyme, By Baby Bunting, what's Daddy gone to get? Is it hammered? Oh dear. I put something and someone else deleted it. Surely not, Robin. I know Lydia is now an editor, but maybe it's edited itself for being too profane. So question number 5 again. Sharing the same first 4 letters, what names were the most common for baby girls and baby boys born in the United Kingdom in 2018? Question number 6. I'm sure you'll all get this. What is broadcast 4 times a day in the United Kingdom at 12:48, 5:20, 12:01 and 5:54 p.m.? Well, I won't go with the PMs and the AMs. Sorry. So what is broadcast 4 times a day in the United Kingdom at 12:48 a.m., 5:20 a.m., 12:01 p.m. and 5:54 p.m.? Lydia's put it down for you. You don't want to get your PMs and your AMs mixed up, do you? Question number 7. Listen carefully. The original title of which best-selling 2005 Stieg Larsson novel translates from Swedish to mean men who hate women? So question 7 again. The original title of which best-selling 2005 Stieg Larsson novel translates from Swedish to mean men who hate women? Very good series by any standards. Not that I've actually read the books, but I've seen the films in both languages. Question number 8. At a length of over 1.3 kilometres, what is the UK's longest bridge and remains the longest single-span suspension bridge in the world that one can cross on foot or by bicycle? So question 8 again. At a length of over 1.3 kilometres, what is the United Kingdom's longest bridge and remains the longest single-span suspension bridge in the world that one can cross on foot or by bicycle? Well, there's one team up there that are fairly close, I suppose. Well, maybe fairly close, I don't know. Question number 9. Depicted on all its livery, which brewery has a horseshoe magnet trademark, which was first registered in 1908? So question 9 again. Depicted on all its livery, which brewery has a horseshoe magnet trademark, which was first registered in 1908? Question number 10, you might just need to think through the titles of one or two songs. So this is the last question of the quiz. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. Which song does Neil Diamond claim was inspired by a photograph of the 11-year-old daughter of President John F. Kennedy? You just need to think through a few titles and I'm sure you can get that. So which song does Neil Diamond claim was inspired by a photograph of an 11-year-old daughter of President John F. Kennedy? There we have it. That's tonight's quiz. One or two tough ones in that last round, but certainly that last one I'm sure you can work out. If you know any Neil Diamond songs, it helps. If you don't, you're in trouble. Just looking back previous round. Tufty Fluffy Tail. What a fantastic advert for children that was. Remembering well. Or her well. Well, it sounds like it's steadily raining outside. I can hear the pitter-patter on my roof. Doesn't help having a metal roof, I suppose, but never mind. Right then, everybody should now have 10 answers down. Does anybody need any more time? If you need a little bit more time, put it down in the chat quickly. If not, we'll crack on with some answers. Well, it's been great as usual to see so many people taking part on a Wednesday night, especially on such a horrible, miserable night as it has been, well, day as it has been today. Does look like things may be easing up. We may be coming out of lockdown this time. We said that 6 months ago and 9 months ago, and then it all went pear-shaped, but never mind. Yes, I'll give you a little bit more time, Clive and Janet. I need a little bit more time to try and figure out those, maybe the one or two there. Ian's asking me what you think of the budget. Well, I didn't really see an awful lot of it, to be fair, Ian. I came back in and all we got on, we'd take the kids out this afternoon and wait a minute, Jackie's going on about my singing again. You two are off my Christmas card list, I tell you. Wasn't raining when you started wasn't raining when you started singing. Well said, Jackie. It's raining now. Perhaps it's a raining dance summoning up. Oh dear. Yes, the budget. Yes, I'm not quite sure actually how it affects pubs too much. Yes, when we came back, we take the kids out, and I was expecting everything to do with the budget this afternoon. But when we got home, it was all Alex Salmon and blooming what's her name? whittling on Nicola Sturgeon, whittling on about who talked about this and who talked about that. Who really cares, you know, to be fair, but never mind. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go back and give you some answers to the previous 10 questions. Right then, manga, term commonly used to refer to comics from Japan. Number 2, I was after which is the first letter of the alphabet that doesn't begin with the names of any cities in the United Kingdom. That's the letter F. There are no cities starting with the letter F. We've got Aberdeen, Belfast, Cambridge, Dundee, and Edinburgh, for example, A, B, C, D, E. But you won't find any Fs unless Felixstowe suddenly become a city, but maybe not. Question number 3, the name of the sheriff in Bob Marley's I Shot the Sheriff. He was known as John Brown. He shot John Brown. Number 3, in the old nursery rhyme, Bye Baby Bunting, what had Daddy gone to get? Bye Baby Bunting, Daddy's gone a hunting. He's gone to fetch a rabbit skin to wrap my little baby in, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, all right. So it's a rabbit skin he'd gone off to get. Number 5, sharing the first same 4 letters. What names are the most common, baby girls and boys? It was Olivia and Oliver. Olivia and Oliver. Number 6, what is the broadcast 4 times a day? That's the shipping forecast. Number 5, the original title of which best-selling Stig Larsson novel? It was basically The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It was originally known Men Who Hate Women, which probably wouldn't have gone down too well, I suppose. Number 8, of course, was the river. Sorry, not the river. It was the Humber I was after. The Humber Bridge, which of course spans the Humber Estuary. Number 9, I was after John Smith's, the name of that brewery with a horseshoe magnet trademark. And finally, number 10, the song I was after was called Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline, which was the 11-year-old daughter, apparently, of President John F. Kennedy. So well done there. What's the input? Where was Alex? I'm not quite with you there, Ian, but never mind. Bother, it's now gone off there. Well, it's gone off there. Right, here we go. We've got some scores coming in. Jen and Tracy end up on a fantastic 57 points. Carol of Pittman, however, on 58 points. PRS have managed a fantastic 60 points with a famous 5 just behind them. Well played, John and Hillary on 59 points. And well done, PRS, to Robin, Matthew, and Claire. We've got the Giffords, 58 points. Ian Miller ends up on 49 points. Well played, Joan and Graham Gifford. Spoon and Fish on 54 points. Well played, Adam. Georgia Lammett, the Yorkies end up on 53. So well played, Georgia and Rory. Mike Yates on 54. That's a great score. The Wheatlings on 55. Well played, Martin and the gang. The Quizzy Rascals end up on 62 points. Well played, Paula and the gang. Mick Roberts also on 58 points. Well played, Mick and Bev. We've got Sarah, Russ, Joe, and James. They end up on 48 points. The Booby Price Girls end up on 50 points. Well played, the Booby Price Girls. Alex Brown, his dad's called John. I'm with you now. You see, I get these random bits of chat on the side. No idea what you're on about sometimes. Never mind. Carmen Janet, the Teasers, 59 points. We've got to split the difference. They end up on 61 points. Penny Graham ends up on 52 with Michelle and Charlie and James, if he's there, on 57 points. They just pipped Home Alone 6 on 56 points. Bit gutted there. Carol, the rest of the cricket team are on 57 points there. We've also got Harry, Julie, Ian, Annie's Bottle of Shans. They only scored 6 on that round, but never mind, a very respectable 57 points after all. Fell through the floor on that round, he said. Never mind, there were 1 or 2 tricky ones to tip you up, so to speak, but never mind. So, in the big scheme of things, those that have scored more than 60, we have split the difference on 61 points. I suppose the Teasers, 59. We have the Quizzy Rascals, 62 points. That's going to take some beating. We have PRS on 60 points, the famous 5 on 59. So numerous teams, 59s, 58s, 57s, 60s, 62. So the winning score tonight, 61, of course. So winning score tonight were the Quizzy Rascals. So well played, Paula, Flint, and the Quizzy Rascals. Great score, 62 points. Well played, you. Split the difference on 61 points. Well played, you. And then we had on 60 points PRS. So fantastic. And then we have the famous 5, 59, couple on 59. So well played, everybody. And thanks very much for taking part.
let's look forward. If you want to come and do a sports quiz, you're more than welcome to come and join us. It'll be just 6 rounds of drivel, as usual, starting at 7 o'clock on Friday for 7:15 start instead of 8. But if not, do come and join us as usual on Sunday night. Sunday night quizzes have been doing remarkably well recently. That will start as usual, 8 for 8:15. 6 rounds of general trivia to keep you all on your toes. So thank you all for taking part, and we'll see you again on either Friday, 7 o'clock, or Sunday, 8 o'clock. So great to see you all, and thanks for taking part. What's Clive put? He's put, thanks, Nick and Lydia from Cesium, Clive Shaw. CS. Well done, Cesium. Neptunium here. You'll have to come up with a few more there. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Graham and Jane. Thanks, Penny. Thanks from Clive and Janet from Teasers. Thanks, Faye. It's great to see so many of you giving us a praise for what we do. So thank you very much, and we will see you again at the weekend or Friday. So good night all, and God bless, and stay safe. Hopefully I'll have had my jab by us the time I see you again. So good night all. Thank you.